Galne Gunnar TV. Simply the best.
Today's topic comes from PST for GOP, and it's this one. Social justice, justice.
Social
Andrew,
justice.
discuss.
All right, well, forgive me for sounding like a writer here for a minute, but when you take a noun that's an important noun, like justice or mercy, and you attach it with a modifier that means absolutely nothing in this context, you've really done something, you've really done violence to the English language.
Well said.
And it really is a shame because when you think of justice, justice is a word with a meaning. It means giving to people what they deserve, what they've earned. Social justice really is a code word for somebody above you who's more wise, more powerful, more insightful than you, deciding who should get what they deserve. So let's pretend you were a human being, and let's pretend you were living in a free country, and you went out and did the job that you loved, and I loved the job that you did, and I decided to give you some money for it. That's justice. That's you earning what you've earned. Social justice is some third clown who thinks he knows better what you should do with your money, saying, oh no, Bill, you can't take that money and go on vacation. You can't take that money and buy a car or give it to charity. I know where that should go. That should go to this fellow over here who I think is a special class. Social justice, in other words, becomes the opposite of justice because it doesn't mean anything except what the elites want it to mean, the people with power want it to mean. And when you put the powerful above the concept of justice, which is what social justice does, you don't have justice at all, you have injustice.
Exactly, that's exactly right. And I think when people talk about social justice, we're really getting to this distinction between equality of opportunity and equality of result. Yeah. You can say that an unjust society excludes people, and certainly slaves were excluded from the American. That was unjust, that was not justice. But when you give people equality of opportunity, you're talking about people starting from the same line, a level playing field where everybody can run as fast or as slow as their lights and their motivation and so on, and people will cross the finish line with differing speeds. Some people will run faster, they'll be more successful economically. When people talk about social justice, they're talking about everybody crossing the finish line at the same time. They're talking about everybody having equal distribution of the wealth, and they try to make that sound like, well, see, that's fair, but how is it fair that a guy who spent 17 years studying to be a brain surgeon would make the same salary as a guy who sat out in back of the 7-Eleven behind the dumpster and smoked doobies and listened to Whitesnake his whole life, right? How is it fair to say that this layabout, this slacker, this loser who contributes nothing should be rewarded the same way as a man who's dedicated half of his life, before he even starts, and racked up $500,000 in debt in order to perform brain surgery? Of course that person should be paid more than the other person.
Because the question in the end really is not what's just and what's fair, it's who decides.
That's right.
And if the system decides, you're going to get a better outcome, a more just outcome, than if some guy who just says, I'm the decider, decides.
That's exactly right.
And that's the problem, yeah.
Galne Gunnar TV.